Hey, if you're watching the replay of this previous live stream, check the description down below for timestamps for chapters so you can navigate around to the areas and the information that you want. Your time is valuable. I don't want to waste it, so check the description for those timestamps for those chapters so you can navigate around. You'd be doing me a solid by watching the whole thing, but I understand. You got things to do, I got things to do, but if you're here for the live stream, let's get into it. Hey, make sure you guys check out our channel partner, Supps. Go to gamersupps.gg and use code ZAK for 10% off. Keto-friendly, zero-calorie, nootropics, antioxidants, and zero sugar. I drink Supps to keep myself energized, to keep myself going. Check them out, gamersupps.gg. Use code ZAK for 10% off. I know some of you have been doing it because I've been getting the money. Oh, all that YouTube money. Woo! We're going to get started after this. Okay, so one of my cameras has decided not to work right now. It's actually my main A camera. I need to figure out what's going on. I just need a minute. I think I know what the issue is. In the meantime, this next opening crawl is dedicated to the people in Texas. Hey everyone, welcome. Good evening to ZAKtalks TECH. That's totally not in the order that you talk like a normal person. I had a problem here with this camera. This camera wasn't working. We got it working now, but we're here. This is the iPhone, and this is the ultra wide lens. Now we're going super wide. My monitor here was it didn't turn on this evening. I came down here, like I normally come down here 15 minutes before I start to turn everything on, because it takes me about 10 minutes. I have to turn the lights, and then the lights back here, and each individual lightsaber is individually lit up, and things like that. And I was cleaning up along the floor down here, and as you can see, I didn't finish. There's that Trans Canada sign is still down here, right there. Don't ask how I got that. And this monitor, my monitor right here, my ultra wide, did not turn on. I'm like, oh no, I don't have a monitor. So it wasn't working. And then this camera right here wasn't working. And but luckily, camera 3 was working, ladies and gentlemen. We have a camera 3. We have a camera 3, and it's working. Yes, love it. A72S or A7 no. Sony A7S II, is that what it is? With a Reconin 14mm lens. I don't know any of the words I just said. I'm just really grateful that we now have that. And of course, camera 4. This is the iPad, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys can see here, it's hunting. You know why it's hunting? Because let's just see if we can dial that in a little bit more. No, it's still gonna. This should be out of focus. It should not be hunting like this. But hey, it's better than nothing. But you guys remember last time the cord was in the way. The cord's now up here because I got a 6-foot cord. So again, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. I love it. And it's all dialed in. You guys can see here, it's all synced in, everything like that. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm glad you guys are all here. There's a total of 25 of you here, 18 of you on YouTube, and the rest are on Facebook and Twitter. So if you're watching on Twitter, say hi, type something in the chat, thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, say hi, thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. Share out to your friends. If you're on YouTube, hi, hey, welcome. Folks, this stream and all streams on ZAKtalks TECH are sponsored by StreamYard. So thank you to them for hooking me up and taking care of us here in gloryful 1080p. You can also use StreamYard as well. You can use it for free. You can stream to multiple locations, like tonight. Like I said, tonight we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. You can also do LinkedIn. You can do your Zoom calls with this thing. You can do everything. You can, like I said, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube tonight. We're streaming multiple platforms. We're doing it big, as they say. I can't remember who used to say that, doing it big. I think it's Travis. That's a Travis thing. But anyway, thank you to them for sponsoring us. If you guys want to check them out, link is down below for StreamYard. Let them know I sent you. Use that link. It helps out the channel. Thank you to them. All right, if you're new here, we usually do a round of hellos and everything like that. First of all, I want to get out of the way right away. You guys probably saw, I'm going to show you guys this right now. Not that. I turned off the camera. What am I doing here? I clicked the wrong button here. So I want to share a screen with you guys. We're going to share this right here. You guys probably saw this. This is tonight's thumbnail, okay? These images that I got here come from a video which we will be playing back tonight. The thing is, I don't know if these are concept images or if these are based off legitimate information. It seems like it's really early to be talking about the Pixel 6. However, I'm interested in Pixel content. I know a number of you are. I've covered Pixel extensively in the past here on the channel, and so I'm interested in talking about it. I'm interested in talking about this article from Tom's Guide, which we will be going through tonight. So I want to get that out of the way. The second half of our show, I'm going to be having my friend Viper over here, and we are going to be talking about Clubhouse. But not Clubhouse like the do's and don'ts and everything. We'll be talking about some other things. Some things happened a few days ago on Clubhouse. We're not going to name names or anything like that, but a couple interesting things happened. And there's been some recent articles. I recently linked to a Medium write-up done by Roberto Blake, which I think everybody should go and read. Forbes Tech recently brought some security issues about Clubhouse, things like that, that should be obviously considered. The app is so much in its infancy, but Viper's been known to be on Clubhouse a little bit. So we definitely want to get him in here and talk to him about that. All right, people? Yeah. Technically speaking, I see you, buddy. We're going to get to the chat. I'm glad you're here, Scott. By the way, did you guys know that Scott puts mayo on his spaghetti? He has a recipe for mayo spaghetti. Have you guys heard about this insanity? It is absolute insanity. Mayo spaghetti. Yeah, Jermaine, I'm not sure how much tea there's going to be, but we're definitely going to talk about it here. So let's go back to the chat here. I just want to say we finally want to get into things here. So again, camera 2. This is camera 2. Camera 3. Camera 4. Oh, I just love it. Everything's dialed in. It's synced in. It's beautiful. 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 La 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 la. What's illegal? Gary the Fireman. That's illegal. Wow, mayo. Oh, you're talking about the mayo. Okay. All right, I'm going to start bringing up here. Pixel 6, Revenge of the God Zaka. Don Coven. He's a channel member. So is Stephen D. You guys see these two guys right here. They got green writing next to their names. That means they're channel members. And you too can also be a channel member by hitting the join button down there. It's completely optional. It's a way to support the channel. There are perks. We're going to be doing a private members only live stream here probably next week. I do need to set it up. So members that are at that level, that second level there, we will be doing that private stream next week. And then with those private streams, we can talk and do anything we want because it's not searchable. It's just there. You have to be a member for those levels. So members that are at that level, or if you're an existing member at a lower level, if you want to go up there, you can. We'll be doing that live stream next week. It'll be either on Tuesday or Thursday next week. Tuesday or Thursday next week will be the members only stream. But anyway, if you're like these gentlemen, you support the channel. First of all, thank you. It allows you to get your name highlighted out there, support the channel. As you guys know, I'm taking clips of these shows and putting them out there on the channel and whatnot for people to see. I just realized I did not share out the link for tonight's show to Viper. So I'm going to send it to him now. I don't know if he's watching. Get you in here in, let's see here, 15 minutes. Yeah. So we're going to get Viper on here in about 15 minutes, about the midway point of the show. Okay. So I just sent him the link. Hopefully he's still on board. So anyway, thank you to the channel members. I appreciate you guys. Have your name highlighted there, super chats, whatever it is. It helps me put together that clip content. So if you guys want to be part of that, you know what to do. But again, completely optional, right? Jermaine King says, Jermaine King says, you guys have no life coming into a chat room early, just like I did. It's all good, man. I appreciate it. I like how you guys show up early. That's awesome. I knew who my ride or die guys are. I appreciate that. Going through the chat here. Who else we got? We had Technically Speaking. That's good Scott, good friend Scott there. Scott Peachy. Yeah, that's illegal. Mayo? Yeah, true story. We got Mech1164. Glad you're here as well. Ace Rockola. How you doing? Y-Town 4. Lots of familiar names. Appreciate Team Pixel. Yeah, Technically Speaking. I guess I'm part of Team Pixel. So to be clear, I've owned pretty much all the Pixel devices, except for the Pixel 5. I've only ever been sent one Pixel device though from Google, which is awesome. They sent me the Pixel 4a, which you guys can see is right here under camera 3. This is the Pixel 4a, and I've talked to you guys about this before. This thing right here is a total cheat code. when it comes to taking product shots, like if you guys go check out my Instagram, and you should, Instagram link is, see if I can do this right. Instagram's right there. See that Instagram right there? See that little? Anyway, you should be following me on Instagram. I've taken some really wild photos with this thing lately, with the help of Moment lenses for some of the more macro shots. But still, just it's a total cheat code. It's a total cheat code. Yeah. For when it comes to photo, when it comes to video, I mean, there's still improvements to be made. But for a camera, for $350, I mean, honestly, you can't. This is just amazing. Anyway, that's the iPad right there. Boom. Let's go wide angle here. Camera 2. All right, let's see who else is here. And then we're going to start talking about this article here from Tom's Guide. If you guys want to follow along with the article, like on a separate screen or whatever, you guys can also check the description. The link for the Tom's Guide article is down below, so go ahead and check that out. Everything about tonight, including images and whatnot, I have referenced in the description. Okay, so everything you guys need to know is referenced there. I know a lot of channels don't do that. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, mayo on spaghetti. I'm not sure what's up with that. By the way, if you guys don't watch Technically Speaking there with Scott, you really should. He's so cool and casual, and he's not like all over the place like I am. So, yeah. Ace says, I use mayo instead of butter for grilled cheese. Okay, seriously, there's something wrong with you people. Like, what? What? You doing what? Oh, wow, I just got water on my Black Magic. Or my drink here. Okay, hopefully I don't get electrocuted. Anyway, what are we drinking tonight? We got the little dragon fruit from Gamer Supps. You guys know how it goes. Look how clear this is. Look at this. Because it actually mixes. It actually dissolves. Look at that. Right? That's good stuff right there. Good stuff. Oh, yeah. Where are the mods? Dawn, maybe I should make you a mod, hey? What do you think? What do you think, Dawn? You're usually pretty good, hey? Let me take a look here. I'm going to make you a mod. Dawn the mod. Don't abuse the power, my friend, okay? Dawn the mod. I appreciate you too, Scott, man. Honestly, I can't wait. Hopefully there's something coming up like this year once everybody's like vaccinated and stuff like that, and then we can like meet up or something like that. I know that Vid Summit is now virtual again, multiple locations, but mark it, dude. CES 2022 next year, dude. You and me. It's gonna be a good one, okay? You're a mod on your other account. Yeah, like I was gonna say, Ace Rocks Tech, you were a mod. I'm gonna put you. I guess I'm gonna mod you here too, and that's enough modding tonight. Crazy modders. Of course, you guys can only moderate this chat, not the Facebook. Then again, I haven't had anybody on Facebook yet. In fact, I don't even know if the Facebook feed is even coming through properly. Give me a second. I should have checked this before. I usually check the Twitter feed right away. Oh yeah, there it is. ZAKtalks TECH is live. All right, cool. And of course, we're coming through on Twitter as well. Let me just double check Twitter. Twitter changed some things around today with the UI for desktop. They used to have the lists section right away that you could click right away on the left-hand side there. It's gone. They moved it. Anyway. All right, people. So let's talk about this right here. We're going to go ahead and share this screen here again. We're going to get into this right now. I don't do a lot of leaking, type material, a lot of like rumor stuff on my channel because it's hard to walk back from the kind of stuff, and I want to make sure I'm relaying accurate information and whatnot. So that's why tonight's stream is called "Is This the Pixel 6?" I was gonna name tonight's show "Why I'm Not Working with Painfully Honest Tech Anymore," but I figured, is this the Pixel 6? Made more sense in terms of tech. If someone remind me towards the end of the show, and I'll tell you guys why I'm not working with Painfully Honest Tech anymore. That's a different one. Ooh, the T. It's not as serious as it sounds. Anyway. So these images right here were taken from a video. We're going to bring up the video here. I'll have to mute it. And again, I've referenced the video in the description as well. If you want to go watch that, go watch it after. It's just a concept video of really quick images like this. These screenshots were actually hard to lift and everything, but I've referenced it. This is all transformative, so everything is okay here. These images and that video actually reference back to that article from Tom's Guide. So we're going to bring up the article here. What did Jason do now? Jason didn't do anything. It's all good. Digital slang. How are you, sir? He's got his SF4 loaded up on the second screen. There you go. It's working. Jermaine's over on Facebook. I appreciate it, man. Check it out. Check it out. Checking that out. Anyway, so I'm going to bring up the article here from Tom's Guide. Let's go ahead and share this out. We're talking about the Pixel 6. Now, this article here, let's bring it up here, talks about Pixel 6 release days, price, specs, leaks, etc., etc. So you're more than welcome to go ahead and read this article if you want as well. It's written by Rory Mellon here 3 days ago. And as it says here, the Pixel 5 hasn't been out for long. The phone's only been shipping since October, but the world of smartphones moves fast, and details about Google Pixel 6 are already coming into focus. We're unlikely to see Google's next flagship phone until later this year, but it's not stopping the Pixel 6 rumors and speculations from bubbling up. I mean, just by doing this stream alone, I'm adding on to those rumors, right? A few tantalizing details have given us some idea of what the phone might offer when it does arrive. Now, something we should expect in the next few months, maybe within the next 2 months, so people, if Google continues, what they've done every year, we should expect a Pixel 5a. So that means like a rough down version of the Pixel 5. So maybe it'll be a plastic back. It'll be a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. We don't know. But if you look at, like, for example, the Pixel 4 came out, and then the 4a, 5. There should be a 5a and then a 6. So this year we should see a 5a and a 6. Okay, so the 6 would be on the higher tier there. Okay. Internal code name for the future Google phone leakers last year. Last year, Passport, Raven, and Oriole, I can't read. Raven and Oriole. I don't. It's believed the Passport refers to potential foldable from Google, but that Raven Oriole might earlier versions of the Pixel 6, perhaps a standard and an XL model. So again, they're speculating here that there might be. I think you get this is complete speculation, but I believe that Google will stay with what worked last year. So we'll see a 5a and we'll see a 6. Again, that's just my opinion. Genosis says here, I hope Google does a premium flagship alongside a mid-tier flag in 2021. So again, yeah, I think Genosis, I mean, that's 5A and 6, right? What would make a Pixel 6 more premium than the existing 5? I think if you're using glass rather than plastics and whatnot, again, there's nothing wrong with plastics or polycarbonates or how they did last year, which is like a metal plastic type mixture type material, so they can still have the wireless charging. I think as long as the price reflects it, there's nothing wrong with plastics or materials like that. I've talked about this many times before. Oh, you mean a 6 XL? Okay, so something bigger, right? Google megapixel. So anyway, if you go through the article, there's a couple little bits here and there. So release date here. Google's pretty predictable when it comes to rolling out Pixel flagships. Its marquee smartphone almost always debut in October. Most notable exception, the Pixel 5, which moved up its debut to a day to September 30th. So I think we'll see a lot of the rumors and information and first looks and everything really ramp up probably mid-July, definitely August. And then comes, September, it'll go hard. And then that last week of September, first week of October, that's when we should see an actual announcement. Again, that's just speculation based on this article and based on, you just look at last year. You basically, if you ever want an idea of when phones will be released, you just look at previous years and you look at what the track record has been. You look at what the history has been, right? So, and that should give you a good idea. Some people might say, well, what about this year with the S21, for example, with Samsung? They only moved it up by about 3 weeks. That was it. It's not really as early this year as it was last year. So that's an example of them kind of moving things around. But you can typically look at the history of devices when they come out and get a good idea when they'll be coming out. And then, of course, then you look at like prominent dates on the calendar and stuff like that. Like you'll never see, for example, I don't think you'll see a phone release or announcement on like September 11th, for example. Like I know with Apple, they moved around dates for something like that once and things like that. So you got to definitely look at dates. Usually we see Tuesday announcements. We don't typically see things on weekends or going into Fridays and whatnot. So Bob Grimes says, my wife still loves her 3A XL. Well, Bob, At least she loves something. Oh, just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, buddy. I'm zinging here. I'm zinging you. I'm bugging you. Anyway. Pixel 6 likely won't be the only phone we see from Google this year. Well, it's unlikely the rumored Pixel 5 Pro, see, this again was rumored last year, Pixel 5 Pro is going to see the light of day. A Pixel 5a is likely to surface at some point in 2021, just like last year. Bob, you know I'm just kidding. Come on. You guys know I was kidding. Jeez. So pricing. If Google's smart, they won't go any higher than they did last year, which I think was $599, if I'm correct. Don't quote me on that. Oh, sorry, $699. Pixel 5 is $699 or £599. Of course, you'd have to do the conversion for Canadian, which would be like $799 or $750 there. So it's unlikely Google will want to drop the price of the Pixel 6 even lower. So the question will be whether it goes back to producing a more premium phone or stick with what the Pixel 5's pricing. See, and so like I understand what Gianosis is saying there earlier, like he would like to see a more premium, but if you found a recipe that works, especially with how the market is nowadays, with the economics and things that are going on in the world, like this year is very much going to be like last year until maybe third or fourth quarter of this year, if you believe, what people are saying and whatnot. I think you still need to play mostly to that price-sensitive type of crowd where people are, right? People are getting what they need, not necessarily what they want, right? Like, is everybody rushing out to get Ultras? Like I said, I don't think so. The S21 is a good price. S20 FE is a complete steal. The Pixel, you guys see it down right here. Pixel 4a right here, complete steal. Complete steal. Cameras, a little bit of information about the cameras and everything like that. I guess we'll see an improvement and everything like that. I guess the biggest question I have is, we know that they'll have the ultra-wide shooter and the main wide. Will they add a telephoto on? Because you guys remember that whole thing with the Pixel 4 where they said, well, we don't need an ultra wide, so we went telephoto, and then they took it out last year. So it's kind of funny to see them kind of step back and redo things or anything like that, but at least they listen to what's going on, right? We got Cheyenne Asan. Hey Zach, I hope I pronounced that right. Cheyenne Asan. Hey Zach, how's it going? Hey, how are you? Gino says my wife is very picky. Bob's a very good sport. I appreciate him being here. Anyway, these right here are apparently leaked. Okay, so Google design patents images credit from patently Apple. Again, I don't know who this leaker is, so I don't know how reliable this is right here. I'm going to tell you guys right now, when it comes to Pixel leaks and whatnot, I'm generally looking in two different directions. John Prosser of Front Page Tech or Max Weinbach. These guys have the track record, and I know them personally, like they're friends. Talked to them many times online, offline, everything like that. So I hope to see more leak stuff from coming from John Prosser. We'll see here. Perfect. I just got the ding in the ear that our special guest is here. He's stretching, so we'll give him 30 seconds here. We'll just wrap this up right now. As for the design, everybody, as you guys can see with the article here, it's going to be. We hope to see it very similar. Last year used a bio-resin plastic. So if you want to call it plastic, I guess you can. But it's the only way they could keep the wireless charging in there, as you guys know. Again, as long as the price reflects it, I don't think there's a problem with that. I really do not think it's. Yeah, this is Tech Today. Brandon at This Is Tech Today. He's really good with the Pixel information as well too. In fact, is through a bunch of Pixel videos that I did when I had an issue with the Pixel 2. That's how we kind of met. And then let me tell you, I had the Pixel 3, and that was a hot phone. If you've been here long enough, you understand that joke. So you thought it was one of my uploads there. There you go. Perfect. Didn't they usually show up in the Ukraine or Toronto? So I don't even know what the full story was with that. I know there was a pallet of them that showed up on the Ukraine black market apparently or something like that. It'd be really interesting to see if someone's actually done a full write-up on that. But there hasn't been much said from Google themselves. It's not like they're going to come out and say, yeah, we lost a pallet of phones. So it's really hard to get the direct information. Anyway, I would encourage all of you, if you want to read more into this, you can. Honestly, this article just kind of pulls a lot from what we know from the past, what we can expect. There's no real concrete information. Again, it's hard to get that concrete information right away. As for the display, I mean, 90 or 120 hertz. I personally have not tried the 90 hertz on the Pixel 5, but I heard it's good. I've seen the videos and people say it's good. I think, you know, if you want to stay in that premium, sub-premium kind of market this year, you really got to bring the 120 hertz. I'm telling you, it makes a big difference. I'm spending more time on Instagram and actually growing my Instagram more than ever because of that 120 hertz, because it's more comfortable to scroll through and whatnot. Again, that's just my opinion. I think there's more value in 120 hertz or a smooth display than a higher res display. Like we saw, for example, with Samsung, how they went from a quad down to a 1080 with the 21 Plus. Of course, obviously, they bring down the price point, and it still looks beautiful, as you guys know. So Bob Grimes says, I'm gonna bring this up right now because he's backstage. But Geonosis was falling on the floor when Viper found out his AirPods Max were sweating. I don't even know if he's wearing them tonight. But we'll bring in Viper here in about 30 seconds here. So stand by, my friend. Again, we should expect Qualcomm 888 or higher on these devices. It is Google's flagship. I think there's no question about that. It should be interesting what the 5A is, if it's a 888 or something lower. But just like last year, like with the 4A, personally speaking, with all the stuff that I have running to it, I've never experienced any slowdowns or anything. I think those days of the slowdowns and whatnot are largely kind of gone. So anyway, go ahead and check out that article, everybody. It is down in the description there from Tom's Guide. I guess you could officially say that the Pixel 6 rumor stuff has kind of started. So now we're going to get on to the next part of our show here. We're about 32 minutes in. We've gone through the chat here as we go. We're going to bring in a friend of mine, friend of the channel. You guys all know him. The man about tech, Mr. Viper. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. So, ironically enough, like I asked, so you were supposed to be here last week. We were going to talk about. Let's move this around. You were supposed to be here last week. So when we were going to talk about Clubhouse, I had some questions for you about your experiences on it, this and that. You've been quite vocal about your. I don't want to say love, but you really like the platform and the opportunities and everything like that. I think you said recently. Well, name off some of the people you recently had contact with it through networking. I'm talking with people there.
Oh, just in the last 3 days, I have met and talked to Keemstar, Hank Green, Mr. Beast, and I'm missing somebody. Blah blah blah.
Philip DeFranco.
Philip DeFranco. And right now, in my room that I have going on right now, Dr. Mike is on stage. So I just met Dr. Mike. So yeah, crazy.
So you're running a room right now. You excused yourself out of there to come over here. So I appreciate your time. I want to talk to you about this. Now, this is ironic because this happened tonight. I'm going to bring up, I took screenshots of this. I hope they're on my Google Photos. This happened tonight, like 2 hours ago. You started up a room. In fact, the room that's going right now, I think, correct?
Yeah.
And you had somebody join the room. Give me a second. Where's the screenshot? There it is. Yeah, we'll count back from. There's my wife's potato soup. We don't want to take a look at that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and share this right here. So you started a room. So I was thinking about showing Clubhouse today with like muting it, but I just a little worried about that. I don't know if you guys can see this here. Let's go ahead and zoom this in. But you had apparently, or so we thought, PewDiePie joined tonight. And I think the first thing he said when he joined was, "What's up, noobs?" It sounded like something I've heard him say before, like a screen recording. So why don't you walk us through on what happened and how you ultimately said, you know what? No.
No, he said, I think he said he's a noob because he's obviously he's new to the app.
Okay.
I don't know, something was going on with the audio. He wasn't coming through clearly, whatever. And I tried to get him to talk, but he wasn't talking. And then you guys had directed me to the fact that his handle spelled wrong. Now, it's only off by a letter, so realistically, anybody can make that mistake. And I think once you set that, I don't think you can change it. So I don't think it's him, but it still could be actually him, would be kind of nutty.
Here's why I don't think it's him. This happened. I don't know if you saw this while you were in your room and everything. You're tagged in the tweets, but I know you get tagged and stuff all the time. So if I go back, if I go to the tweet exchange here, here is my Twitter. So I actually posted screenshots of what happened here. Let's go ahead and bring this in. So I said, again, these are the same screenshots, right? And I questioned, like, who is that, right? If you go into the profile, and this is something that you've talked about, we've all talked about, nominated by Imika, okay, or I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, we're not outing this person. However, they did say this publicly on Twitter, so I think it's okay for us to bring it up here. 1, PewDiePie does not use an iPhone. 2, that's my invite on his, quote-unquote, his account, and I'm 100% sure I don't have his phone number, and I didn't ask me for an invite. Here's point number 3. I sent invites out to random people who asked for one. Right?
That's weird.
Yeah. So this guy sent invites out to people who asked for one. And which I pointed out, I think this is a cause for concern. In my opinion, this trolls forever associated with your invite. If they cause more problems, get banned, etc. Clubhouse will check who invited them. It could impact your standing on the platform. So let's. I guess that brings us back to what I wanted to ask you, which is, Viper, if you could explain to the people why we are so picky. Some people are so picky about who they give invites out. I'll tell you right now, like, people have been asking me. I have like 5 or 6 invites available. But if I don't know you, like if our only interaction has been on Twitter and maybe we're friendly, but that's about it. I don't know anything else. Sorry. What are your thoughts on that, Viper?
So right now, Clubhouse is an invite-only platform. But the way that they do it, and I like how they do this, is that whoever you invite, you are forever associated with that person, because at the bottom of their profile is your name and face. So I was invited to the platform by Shelly Says Today. So if you go to my profile on Clubhouse, at the bottom of my profile is Shelly's name and face, and it says nominated by. So the way that they have that set up, you really have to be cognizant of who you're inviting, because if you invite a fake account or you invite a fool or a clown, that person is forever associated with you. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard that if that person causes ruckus on a platform, they can be booted off, and you can be booted off for inviting them as well. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but there is always that association. So you have to be mindful of who you're inviting on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Did you get a chance to read that Forbes article that came out? I think it was last week or maybe the week before that, towards the end of the week, where they were talking about concerns about the security about it, like who's listening in, where the information is going to, whatnot. Did you get a chance to read into that?
I did not know.
No? Do you have any concerns about who might be listening or what they might be listening to or whatnot? What are your, like, I guess my question is, like, what are your thoughts on that?
My thought is, I didn't before, but I definitely now never go into a Clubhouse room assuming that it's not being recorded. Mm-hmm. Somebody probably recording it because people just don't know how to follow the rules. And when I was in the room with Mr. Beast that night, when that whole thing went down, the room was being recorded. And I was made aware of being recorded because somebody tweeted me a recording of the incident. And I'm just like, why the hell are you recording the room? You're not supposed to do that. Yeah. But obviously people are breaking rules and they're recording these conversations. So I think that kind of sucked for the platform, because part of the charm of Clubhouse is knowing that you can go into a Clubhouse room, and feel your guts, have a raw, real, authentic conversation without the concern of being recorded. But that's pretty much gone.
Do you think Clubhouse would be as okay? So first of all, I think we have to admit that there's a real FOMO, like people want to be in this because it's invite only. It's iOS and it's invite only. The quote unquote cool kids. That's Bob Grimes put it here in the chat. Do you think Clubhouse would be this sought after had there be no pandemic right now and people cooped up in their homes and whatnot? So, for example, we've seen the rise, if you will, of TikTok. People are stuck at home, turn on their phone, entertain themselves, entertaining others and whatnot. Do you think Clubhouse would be this popular if, say, it was 2019 or 2018 before everything happened right now? Do you think it would be this big?
I think it will be major, but it would not be this big. The pandemic had created a special circumstance for Clubhouse. Right now, we are all cooped up at home. We can't go out like we normally are accustomed to. So we don't get that human interaction in real time that we normally get. So right now, Clubhouse is the thing that's connecting all of us. And the beautiful thing about Clubhouse is that it is creating some unique experiences, like I just alluded to earlier, that you would never have on YouTube or Twitter or anything. Like before 2021, I had never spoke to Mr. Beast. I had never spoke to Keemstar. I had never spoke to Philip DeFranco. But in the span of 3 days, I have spoken to all of them on Clubhouse. So that platform lends itself to some unique experiences that are just not possible. But as you were alluding to, Zach, I think that is possible because we are in the middle of a pandemic and we are all on this app, like trying to have this human connection. So if the pandemic wasn't going on, I think it would still be kind of major, but it wouldn't be at the level where it is at right now.
I know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer it. From Genos, is our good friend here, the man about tech. He says, does Clubhouse have a notification of when someone screen records? Also, I know you can externally record without the notification. So I know kind of the answer to this, but why don't you go ahead and answer that?
So here's the funny thing about that. If you are using the app and you do a screen recording on the iPhone, the app will warn you that if you are caught doing this, they can kick you off the platform. The problem with this is that sometimes I do screen recording for other things on my iPhone for video purposes, and I just happen to have the app on the background. So when I go back to the app, I get that warning anyway. So it kind of sucks because even when I'm not intentionally screen recording Clubhouse, I'm doing something else on my iPhone. But since the app is running, the app let me know, yo, you shouldn't be doing that. But other than that notification, no, there is no notification of somebody screen recording the app at all. You have no idea.
Yeah, the other night I was playing with some microphones and everything like that. Obviously, I don't have the right adapters and everything. And I got this warning along the top saying, warning, Clubhouse is, do not record, And there's something along the lines of this has been the modification team or something like that has been notified of this. So nothing's happened out of it. Obviously, I've never been reported for anything else, but I was just literally plugging in microphones to see what happens. But I think in the case of people recording Clubhouse when they're not supposed to, has actually kind of resolved a recent situation, if you want to call it. Now, when was this? Now, I'm hesitant to bring out names because I don't want to talk about the person that made these accusations. However, I will say that this is surrounding Mr. Beast. Okay. Why don't you give us the lay of the land of what happened on Sunday and what ended up being something like a 7-hour room. I didn't get any sleep.
Whoo, yeah.
It was major, dude. It was major.
It was crazy. So on Sunday night, Mr. Beast was hosting a Clubhouse room where he was the only moderator. Apparently, he had noticed that there were a lot of people in the audience that had pictures of themselves with Gary Vee. So he thought it was kind of funny. So he started inviting up everybody that had the pictures of themselves with Gary Vee. So I guess it was all a bit or whatever. It was all kind of funny to him. But at some point, the stage was getting too big for him. So he decided to start moving people off because he was done with that bit or whatever. So what ended up happening is that he, I think the first guy he moved off the stage was Colin. He said, Colin, I'm moving him off. I'm moving you off. So he moved off the dude named Colin. And then he got to a dude named Farouk, but he couldn't pronounce Farouk's name. So Mr. Beast said, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. I'm moving you off stage. Yeah. Now, the problem with this is that this dude, Farouk, that Mr. Beast moved off stage, Farouk was on stage, but he had not had a chance to talk to Mr. Beast. He didn't have a chance to speak before he got moved off stage. So somewhere between Mr. Beast not pronouncing his name and him not getting a chance to speak, he took that as Mr. Beast being racist, and he ran to start his own Clubhouse room called Racism on Clubhouse. Not only did he start his own Clubhouse room after this incident, he took to Twitter to post a whole thesis about how Mr. Beast removing him from stage was racist and called Mr. Beast racist, and it was just ridiculous. Now, it's one thing, when you hear these situations in passing and you just don't know what happened. It's a whole other thing entirely when I'm in the room listening to it in real time. And I'm like, this dude is so beyond a pale and out of bounds. What happened was not Mr. Beast being racist. What happened was that Mr. Beast was actually being polite because he didn't want to butcher the man's name. Because guess what? Yeah. He called Mr. Beast racist for not pronouncing his name and I guess not being able to talk. However, if Mr. Beast did pronounce his name and butcher it, he would still be racist probably. So it was literally a no-win situation for Mr. Beast. Yeah. And the dude just blew it up into stuff that it shouldn't have got blown up into. Ironically enough, Zach, I'm kind of proud of the media because I've only seen this in one off-name tech site or a paper or a blog, whatever. I have not seen any other major publications run with it because the other cool thing, as you were alluding to, is that there is audio evidence out there that exonerates Mr. Beast because anybody who listens to it knows that Mr. Beast wasn't being racist. It was just he was moving him off the stage. That was literally it. It was ridiculous.
He literally said, Dennis, I'm going to, or I think the person's name was Dennis or something like that, or maybe something like that. I'm going to yote you, which is a version, which is a way of saying yeet or like throwing away, right?
Yep.
Internet slang I don't get. I'm going to yote you off the stage. And he said, I'm really bad with names, but I'm going to yote you as well. It wasn't, he didn't even attempt the name, but he just said, hey, I'm bad with names, but I'm going to yote you as well too. And this dude went, like you said, he went off. And then, like you said, he went to Twitter, and there was a whole thread. And our friend Renee Ritchie actually replied to him. This gentleman, Farouk, he's actually in Montreal. Renee, replied in saying, that's not the situation. This is it. And then actually, Renee actually linked to somebody actually screen recorded it. It's a 10-second clip, and you can say what you will about the clip and everything, but you quite clearly hear Mr. B saying, I'm bad with names. I'm gonna yote you as well, and that was it, right? Literally. I was in the room that Farouk made after, and here's the thing about, again, this is about Clubhouse, and again, this is my caution. This is my cautionary for people that are on Clubhouse, and this kind of goes back to the article from our friend Roberto, which is there were a ton of people in that room supporting Farouk, and fine, that's fine, and there was actually a lot of good points made. Some stuff I actually agreed with, but I didn't think I would. But a lot of people in there were blindly agreeing, even though they were not there. They had not listened to the 10-second clip. They were just going straight by one side of the story. So you got this echo chamber, right, of just feeding and feeding and feeding it, right? And I think for myself personally, I'm getting the most out of Clubhouse from listening in and whatnot. But it was amazing how this just blew up because somebody got moved off the stage. Mr. Beast has said many times himself, maybe some people are not aware of this, he doesn't like large stages and big rooms with thousands of people, even hundreds of people, because it's just like, right? Too many people. And I don't know if he's doing the modding himself or maybe it's someone else, but right now, Clubhouse, as you said, is iOS, so iPad, iPhone only. So he's probably literally on his phone there, at home, on the couch, whatever, right? And he's taking part in it. So talk about the echo chamber stuff, Viper. You said yourself, you do a lot of rooms your own. You do a really good tech tuber room on Saturdays at 8 o'clock Eastern, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
With Renee Ritchie and Jeff from El Jefe Reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there listening in, and you've had people like bored at work and everything. But talk about the echo chamber effect and how you have properly shielded yourself or been able to properly filter rooms or what rooms you don't go into and people that you maybe invite on stage and whatnot. Like, what are you doing to kind of make sure that there's still some normalcy?
So when I'm on Clubhouse, I don't really go into that many rooms that I'm not really familiar with. I'm mainly in tech rooms, or I'm in YouTuber rooms, or something along those lines. So I don't really go where I don't really have knowledge about the situation. But the thing is, a lot of these rooms I'm on stage because they bring me up on stage for whatever reason. But I don't speak to stuff I don't know about. I leave that to people smarter than me. And I know sometimes on Clubhouse, some people have been accused of faking it or not being knowledgeable as they will claim to be. And that stuff is pretty easy to flesh out if you are in that industry. But in my room, I only put people on stage that I know and trust because I know that they're doing the thing and they have been successful in doing the thing. I mean, right now in my room, I got Dave Wickens, who is a talent agent that works with Renee Ritchie. So I know Dave is smart as hell. I've talked to him a few times now. He's amazing. I got Dr. Mike on stage. I mean, this dude's a world famous doctor. Are you kidding me? Like, he's doing the thing. And I just surround myself with people that know what the hell they're doing and been successful at it. So there's none of that. You're worrying about the information that you're getting is false, because I got people up there that have done it and are doing it. So I think it's all about surrounding yourself with people that are successful and are doing the thing. So when you go into these rooms with these people that are not doing the thing, you just got to be careful. If you don't know who they are, if you're not familiar with them, you just got to do your research and make sure you're not being taken in. Yeah, that's going to bring me back to, let's talk about the Clubhouse interface, because it's always hard to kind of talk about this kind of stuff without showing the app. And again, that you get into the whole, you're not supposed to be recording stuff. Again, I wanted to show the app tonight, but actually the app is, it's on this camera here, so we can't. But I'm going to go back here. So let's walk through for the people that don't know what the app
kind of looks like and what you're kind of presented with as soon as you go in. So as soon as you open the app, you get this screen here. Why don't you walk us through these I guess there's kind of like 3 sections here as soon as you start including these icons. Why don't you start at the top here with these icons?
All right, so those icons at the top, that envelope with the gold star is the invite. So if you click on it, it'll tell you how many invites you have to give out for Clubhouse. That calendar looking icon next to it is the calendar. It tells you the upcoming event. It tells you if you have any scheduled events upcoming, and it allows you to schedule a room if you want to do that. That bell next to it is the notification bell. Basically, it tells you everything that's happening on Clubhouse that's related to you or people that you're following. And then obviously your avatar is your avatar. So that's that.
You can go into your, you can go in and edit yourself and your picture, name, all that kind of stuff. Okay, now explain this section here, which I guess is an extension of upcoming stuff from here, and also these next 2 sections. So this.
Okay, so that first section that's kind of like grade in or whatever you want to call it. That is the upcoming event. So basically, the things that the people that you're following, whatever event that they are involved with, that schedule is what you're seeing right there. That of the rooms that they're partaking in. So that's what that is. Obviously, that first room right there, that's the room I'm running right now. But that's like the room that you'll see. The first room that you see is something that whoever you're following is involved in. And if there's a lot of people that you're following in the same room, then that's probably why it's populated first. So a lot of people that we know that mutually are in that room right now. So that's why it's populated at the top probably for you.
So from what I've seen, it looks like, okay, so obviously you have the calendar thing, and it looks like you'll have obviously people you follow or you follow each other. You'll see whichever the room is the biggest first, and then after that, the next smaller rooms, but you have to be following each other is what you're seeing, correct? Like
and
rooms
you don't have to be following each other. It's just people that you follow.
Okay, just that you follow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once you can actually move that over, or you can click these little dots down here at the bottom. So if you click these little dots, or you swipe from right to left, then you're presented with this right here. So why don't you explain this next list here, what this means?
All right. So those active clubs are clubs that you are a part of. So that tells you all the people, I guess, that are online for that particular club. And if you want to start a room under that club, you can start a room. And then they're available to chat. It's just all the friends that you have on Clubhouse. Okay, this available chat here. It's all the friends that you have, and the people are following you. So they have to be your friend, and you have to be following them. They have to be following you. And then if they're online, they're populated right there, and it lets you know if they're in a room, what room they're in, or if they're on the platform and not in the room. It tells you that too. So that's all that information right there.
Okay, perfect. Now, if I were to click on somebody's name, I first get this information, and these 3 lines, I guess, is kind of the equivalent of the first 3 lines of like a YouTube description.
Yep.
Right? You see this first right away. But and you've talked about this before. There are profiles that are just like,
oh my god,
like there doesn't seem like there's any limit, right?
Seriously, it's like the bottomless pit. Oh my god.
What is your recommendation when it comes to descriptions?
Okay, so I kind of have my opinion has kind of changed because I've learned since then that bios are searchable. So the first 3 lines are the ones that are visible whenever you click on somebody's face. So you want to have the most prevalent information that you want people to know about you in those first 3 lines. But there are people on there with whole ass thesis, their resumes, their life stories and everything, their accomplishments. It's kind of crazy. But
yeah,
at the same time, I kind of understand it because that information can be searched. So I still will try to keep it short because I'm not one to be reading the whole thesis. If I see somebody, if I have to keep scrolling to read your bio, I'm clicking off of it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the most important thing about the Clubhouse bio, especially if you want to network, is that you want to have your Instagram and Twitter hot linked because that's how people contact you directly. Because on Clubhouse, there is no way to text anybody. There's no way to direct message anybody on the platform without putting them in a private room with you. Yep. But if you want to text them directly, you have to do it via Twitter or Instagram. So you want to have those linked in your Clubhouse bio.
Okay. So just to reiterate again, when you first click on someone's name, you'll see this. It kind of pops up like a shelf. You have to click on view full profile to basically see this whole thing. Okay. And then you can go into the activity. So going back here, if I were to click on this bell, as you were talking about there with the activity, you're presented with this right here. And with this, you can see who's recently followed you, what rooms have been made, what rooms people might be in, just general activity on the app. Have you found this useful for anything other than finding out who's following you?
It's kind of annoying actually because every time Shelly nominated me to be in her club. So every time somebody gets nominated to the club or adds themselves to the club, I get a notification. It's kind of annoying.
Okay. And then we will go into, again, this is that calendar section you were talking about, which again, this is, what's coming up. And again, this is filtered based on your interest, because when you first start Clubhouse, it asks you about your interest, right, Viper? Like there's a bunch of different categories there.
Yeah. Well, that's based on your interest, and it's also based on the people that you follow and what they're being a part of too. But yeah, when you first sign up to the app, there's a list of interests that you can choose, and then that's how your hallway, the list of rooms that you see when you first go into the app, that's how that's initially populated before you start following anybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. I did not take any screenshots of the conversation rooms, but the rooms roughly look like this, and you got a bunch of icons at the top, like the bigger icons of the people that are quote unquote on stage, and then the next section is people that are followed by people that are talking. Moderators obviously have a little green star next to them names, and then you have basically everybody else. There's our troll. I'm pretty sure it's a troll based on that guy.
You know what the weirder thing is? It says in your picture he's following 28 people, but now he's following 8. So he deleted like 20 people. I don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, he was following 28. Now it's 8.
Yeah, now he's following 8 people, and now he's being followed by 73 people. I don't know what the hell.
Nah, that's not him. I don't think it's him at all. I really don't, because like this guy said in his Twitter, I gave out invites to random people. So that's it. There you go. Anyway, my friend, I appreciate you coming on to talk a little bit about Clubhouse and the ins and outs and everything. Have you had a chance to try out Twitter Spaces?
Yeah, I was doing a couple of with Sam Sheffer. I mean, they're okay.
Yeah, he's the only one I've come across so far that has access, like in our tech space or anything like that. I've asked Twitter for access, but they haven't jumped on yet. They don't want my wife's soup. I sent them a tweet the other day. So, do you have anything else you want to throw in there about best practices or things like that, or about invites, or anything on your mind about it recently, or anything else you want to throw out there?
I think we covered everything. I think we're good to go.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you being here. If you want to, I know you got to get back to your room, so I appreciate. I'll probably join you there soon. But thanks for coming on and talking about the Clubhouse with all of us.
All right, man. No doubt, man. You have a good evening. Talk to you soon.
You too. Take care. All right, everybody. That was Viper, the man about tech, talking about a little bit Clubhouse. We talked about the Pixel 6 rumors and information coming up. So I will definitely be keeping my eyes on any other information that comes out. I've asked Google a couple times here to take a look at the Pixel 5. They haven't sent one out to me yet, but that's okay. Maybe I'll see a Pixel 5a or 5 or 6 down the road here. We will see what happens. But I want to make sure that we're relaying the proper information and everything like that. Just the Tom's Guide article caught my eye there, and that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. And hopefully those of you that are still looking for Clubhouse invites, if we're close, if we know each other pretty well, hit me up, and I could probably take care of you. But if I only really know you through Twitter, I'm probably not going to, because as we saw tonight, my name is forever associated with your profile on Clubhouse or anything like that. So, so Ace is asking, before you bounce, painfully honest tech, the painfully honest tech thing here, Geonosis is talking about. All right. Take a tasty beverage. Now, first of all, Jason doesn't know I'm talking about this, but and I was going to tag him out. I'm not talking. This is not bad. This is not a bad thing. Let's be really clear here. So it's just a different thing. So as it stands right now, will Clubhouse run on Windows 3.11? No, dude. As it stands right now, so let me just back up for a bit. I've known Jason for about 3.5, close to 4 years, I think. Wow, it's been that long. Painfully honest tech for that long. I was a fan before. I used to watch his content all the time. And then we were introduced to each other through some streams and whatnot. I think we were on some different live streams together through Viper and stuff like that, and through a couple other people. And then it was John Prosser of Front Page Tech that asked Jason, told Jason, hey, you should have Zach be a co-host, because Jason was doing his podcast, but it was just him on his own. And he wanted to bring somebody else in, not like a yes person, but just another voice, someone to talk about things and be a sounding board and everything like that. So John Prosser said, Jason, hey, bring Zach on. So I joined Jason about 3.5 years ago on the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. In November of 2019, we brought Viper on as well. I went on vacation. I said, hey, bring Viper on. He's been on the show a couple times. And then Viper became a staple in the show. So for a good year there, we had Viper on. So it was the three of us, Viper, Jason, and I, the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. Again, the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. It's his podcast, okay? I love doing that podcast. I loved doing that show. I always look forward to Tuesdays. Tuesdays were amazing. When I was going through a really rough time last year and I wasn't making content and I was literally laying in bed 5 days a week. Like, I'm serious, people. I would get up for a drink of water. That was it. I lost a bunch of weight because I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking. But I always made sure I was in front of my computer 15 minutes before that thing and I had my lights going and everything. I had something really to hang on to and something to do to kind of get me through things and to come on and goof around and have fun and discuss tech and argue about tech and argue about each other. The Painfully Honest Tech podcast with Jason and Viper, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it really was good for me. It was good for my head and everything. So, Jason, as you guys know, Painfully Honest Tech has had, he hasn't been happy with the direction of the channel. He doesn't like the repetitiveness of YouTube. He doesn't like the corporate machine structure part of it, everything like that, the man, everything like that. We all know that. These are all things that Jason has talked about publicly before. So he decided to take a step back and take some time off. He has not done a Painfully Honest. We have not done a Painfully Honest Tech podcast for 5 weeks. This week is 5 weeks. Why do I know? Because this is my 5th week of doing this new structured thing. So with the end of him taking his break, it worked out at the same time that I decided to jump into things head first again. And I guess in a way I'm thankful for that. Although I did structure my schedule right now around it so I could still do the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. But that being said, Jason is taking his content in a different direction. I don't think you're going to see as much mobile phones, although I think he's still going to focus on like the iPhone stuff that interests him and maybe devices that are sent to him. You're going to see more consumer and professional audio type stuff, which actually I'm looking forward to, microphones, interfaces, everything like that. I've always been interested in that kind of stuff. There's no bad blood between Jason and I. We talk all the time. Yeah, we might put out a stupid tweet and then delete it after. I did that earlier this week. I was petty about it. I deleted it. Whatever. That's just us being stupid, being childish. Fine. It is what it is. I'll call myself out for that. But yeah, there's no more Painfully Honest Tech podcast. I know that Jason is doing another podcast with Steve Freeman. I think it's going to be more centered around politics and current events and everything like that. So, tune into that kind of thing. But ultimately, the Painfully Honest Tech podcast is done, is for now. Honestly, I don't think it's going to come back because that podcast was centered around tech and talking about the latest phones, mostly phones, right? The tech world and whatnot. It sucks. It's something that helped me through a lot of things, but it's gone now. But you know what? Now I'm doing this with you guys 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. That's the live show. Clips on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Possible bonus content on the weekend. So if you're not subscribed and if you hadn't hit like yet, hit like. You guys have that to look forward to. So I guess in a way I'm kind of glad that the Painfully Honest Tech podcast is done. I'm glad that the umbilical cord in a way has been kind of cut, as Jason would say, between the two of us. Because now I really have to dive into doing stuff, into doing content or anything like that. So yeah, I'm upset that it's over. But I think it's good for him. I think it's good for all of us. It's a new evolution. And it is what it is. Gino says here, the conversation was always great when you guys were not just talking tech. I really hope the three still get together and stream together, even though the conversation isn't tech. Yeah, so I've talked to Jason about that, and I said, here's the thing, right? I was hoping to have one more hurrah, one more show for us to kind of say, hey, everybody, this is the next evolution. But that didn't even happen. Jason's gone live a couple times to explain it here and there, and that's fine. That's his channel. Again, it's the Painfully Honest Tech podcast. It's his thing, right? So it's up to him to decide to do that. I've always tried my best to make sure that the show is produced and done the right way. I've booked multiple guests. I've stuck my head out and tried booking several people, and those things fell through the cracks because Jason canceled the last second or decided not to do a show. There's been several guests where we've done that. I fully embarrassed myself because I'm the one that put my neck out there to book these people, and then it didn't happen, right? And I never liked that aspect. That always upset me, and he knows that. So hopefully you guys can see some of those people here. I mean, I have those connections now and everything like that. So he says, but Zach, you talked to Jason about popping in to talk non-tech. Yeah, I mean, we would. Here's the thing, Ace. The majority of you are here for the majority of our audience here, our subscribers, are subscribed because Zach talks tech, painfully honest tech. You guys are here for talk about tech. The side conversations are cool and everything, but as long as the majority of the conversation is around tech. If we were to do a show or whatever that's just us talking, we would have to launch a whole new channel. Now, I guess I could do that over on my Zach Talks live channel or maybe his own channel or whatever. But we'd have to figure that out. But I mean, like I said, guys, I'm bummed that there's no more weekly podcast. I was, like I said, it was one of those things that kind of kept me together and everything for the last year, and it just to have it just gone. Yeah, it sucks. It also sucks how Jason hasn't really explained that, or we haven't done a full show to kind of explain that, hey, this is the hiatus. Maybe we will next week. I don't know. I know for a fact, I'll tell you this, though. Jason will probably never see this part of my live stream, even if he plays it back with the timestamps and everything. Because in the 3.5, 4 years that I've known Jason, I think I can count on one hand how many times I've had comments from him in my videos and whatnot. And I understand people are busy and everything like that. But that's something that's always weighed on my mind as well. So it's interesting how the support, it's not always even. But that's okay. We're here to make content for you guys. Right? So PhD is gone. I don't know if I can go. Yeah, no. PhD is Painfully Honest Tech is still here. It's just that the focus of his content is no longer going to be phones. He did a live stream last night kind of going over this. I think you're going to see more music and related type stuff, microphones, home production, and things like that. Again, you see my point. It gets muddled. Yeah, it is. It is what it is. It sucks. I really wanted to do a last hurrah, Painfully Honest Tech podcast for all of you that are here, the Ride or Die fans and things like that. But Jason just wants to dive into doing his new thing and everything like that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll realize, come to an epiphany in a few weeks and just go back. Who knows? But I know that in the last 3.5 years that we've been doing that show, him and I, including our time with Viper, that we've always tried to put forth a really great show for you guys. I know that I've tried putting the work in here and everything like that with the booking guests, and the proof is right there. But we always didn't always see the same effort from Jason. And I think that's because he's had other things on his mind. But as he said during his stream last night, Jason said, I'm not going to let the algorithm bother me anymore, this and that. But it should be interesting to see how he actually reacts to new numbers and things like that. So that's that. I mean, that's everything I've talked to you guys about is all public stuff that he's talking about. I'm not talking behind his back here and everything like that. Yeah, I remember the night when Jason got so many super chats that he could buy a new phone. Yeah, that was an incredible night, and I saw none of that money. I always like to bug about that. We had sponsors and everything like that. I never did the show for the money. I don't do any of this for the money. I do it because I want to make content, because I want to talk real about devices and the marketing and the nuances and the things and behind the scenes that people don't see, the differences, being real about stuff and everything like that. That's why I make content. And one of the biggest driving forces for myself right now when it comes to the cellular industry, when it comes to cell phones, is accessibility. Okay? I've talked about this before, where last year, especially last year, the lines between premium and budget budget or cheap phones, whatever you want to call it, has really been blurred. When you look at phones like the Galaxy S20 FE, when you look at this year's S21 versus last year, when you look at things like the Pixel 4a right here, like, it should be illegal how cheap this phone is and how great how it takes such really great photos. So I'm more motivated by accessibility now. You see great things coming from TCL and things like that. So that's what gets me excited. I guess that's why I'm having this resurgence of of doing content. Plus, doing the shows live with you guys like this has been really great. Like, my night basically begins, my day of working basically starts when I do the show. After this, I'm going to take a 15-minute break, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to add in timestamps, and then I'm going to cut up clips for tomorrow, make timestamps or make thumbnails or anything. By the time I'm done all this, it'll be probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And then my day tomorrow is a matter of releasing those videos, making contacts, and doing administration stuff for the channel during the day. I'm also going to be streaming on Amazon during the day, Monday through Friday, starting probably next week, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. So if you want to see me talking about tech and looking at some deals with tech on Amazon, check me out over there. I'll make sure I'll Twitter a link for you guys. Okay. So, yeah, Mech1164. I can perfectly understand why he wants to get off the algorithm gerbil wheel. Yeah, here's the thing, though, with YouTube. You can either play with the algorithm and do it and everything like that and probably drive yourself insane. And some people like that consistency. Some people do really well with that. Or you can do your own thing and hopefully it takes off, right? You don't have to do anything with YouTube, but you can look at numbers and this and that and make decisions, make data-based decisions off that. For myself, I'll be making some really hard data-based decisions at the end of April when I'm done at the end of April, looking back at the last 90 days of content here, of what I've been doing with you guys and seeing what works. Yeah, that's basically how I feel as well, right? Steven D says, I think PhD could have done a final podcast of the 3 of you and explain the direction going forward. Yeah, so I thought that would be good as well. Maybe next Tuesday. I don't know. I'm not going to bug him about it, though. I've only talked to him about it. Again, it's his decision. He's a big boy. He's older than me by a few years. He can make those decisions. If you guys tweet and bug him, maybe he will. Who knows? He's not listening to me anymore, which really sucks. But I hope, I really, I hope the best for him. I really do. It's been frustrating. So anyway, people, it's been a good show. Over an hour here. Appreciate you guys all being here tonight. I'll be cutting up the show into clips over the next couple of days here. Hopefully 1 or 2 clips for tomorrow. And then it'll be Friday because tomorrow's Thursday. Holy cow, tomorrow's Thursday. So I will be taking care of this and putting on timestamps for tonight's show if you guys didn't catch the whole thing. I appreciate you guys all being here. You guys all take care. And I'll be highlighting your chats as we go out. So don't tune off as soon as the credits roll here. We'll be highlighting as we go here. I appreciate you guys all being here tonight. Take care. Cheers. Okay, are we really gonna do this again? Is this like a thing now? Where you guys wait till the end? Like the Stream Deck's not even turned on. I don't even have it turned on. Like it's, I can't. There we go. Here we go. Thank you, Don Coven, for the 99-cent super chat. I'm also gonna give you one of these.
Cucumber.
And also.
All right.
And of course.
Oh yeah.
One more time from Tom. All right, Don. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Let's get into this last one. Like, I was just about, there's like 2 buttons you click to say end broadcast. I was literally just about to click that. I mean, I guess I can click it now. Thank you, Jermaine King.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, science.
Hello there.
And
All right.
Oh, yeah.
all right, people. I don't have any other I don't have any other outros. I mean, I guess